When it comes to UFOs, everyone seems to have the answer as to who they are, where they're from, what they want, and whether or not they are or aren't a threat. But the truth really is, no one really knows for sure. So ask yourself, if no one knows for sure, then who's gaining from making these insinuations and to what end? This video here that I've put together are some of my friend Jason Sirachi's best captures to date. He continues to capture these objects in the sky constantly, every single night. There isn't a night that goes by where the conditions meet filming criteria where I don't have a video in my inbox from Jason Sirachi. Jason Sirachi, John Carter, and Mobius form a team, and we proudly present this little snippet video I've created. You can film UFOs anywhere. The mind, once stretched to a new idea, never returns to its original dimensions. This world we live in is absolutely crazy. It's a pressure cooker of everyone telling you what to think, who to trust, and what to believe, all creating us to be parrots and puppets of someone else's narrative. The truth is that UFOs are being filmed all around the world every single night by people who believe and don't believe in UFOs. Unidentified flying objects have been seen for thousands of years, reported for thousands of years, yet we don't have any physical proof of it as of right now. We don't have any aliens coming down with their spaceships, landing, coming out, and having full conversations with all of us all around the world. Although it has been reported all around the world by many different civilizations in even their creation stories that aliens have come to this planet and made contact. If you want to catch UFOs, I highly recommend you check out night vision because it turns the invisible to visible, and you should visit the website paratemporal.com. Jason has never stopped showing me some of the most interesting and incredible captures using night vision goggles, spanning the states, 3 states, New York State, Colorado State, and now the state of Nevada. My man Jason Sirachi, not only is he out there every single night making a career out of capturing these objects, these orbs, and these unexplainable crafts, but he's also been featured all around the world via news sites. This guy has put together himself a night vision experience where if you want to, you can go to Las Vegas and you can actually do some sky watching with Jason Sirachi, where you can be taught and you can learn how to do this kind of stuff. There are things in our sky that we cannot explain. They are there, they are manifesting, and we don't know for certain where they're coming from, what their intentions are, and whether they are even physical. They do appear to be physical, but again, until these crafts, until these beings come down to this planet and sit down with regular folk, we really don't know for certain. Who can you trust when it comes to this stuff? We've been told they come from other dimensions. We've been told that they come from other planets. We've been told so many things. It was not even 70 years ago where if you were even talking about the subject of UFOs, you were considered crazy. Only up until maybe the last 7 years, people have really started to take UFOs to be much more credible and much more serious. but there still isn't enough study, and there still aren't enough scientific folk getting involved with the study and the interest of UFOs. It's starting, folks. We're starting to see a tipping point, but who can we trust when everyone seems to have some kind of ulterior motive? Other people all around the world are doing the exact same thing that Jason Sirachi's doing. They're catching UFOs. And you know what they're doing? They're going out and investigating. That's why Jason and I decided to take Joshua P. Warren's Paranormal Investigator course. I highly recommend it if you're looking to study anything to do with the paranormal, the strange, cryptids. There's a wealth of knowledge and information that Joshua P. Warren teaches in the class, and then he certifies you by providing you with a certificate of graduation once you pass the test. You know, Jason went out to see the Finding Your Magic 2 experience with Joshua P. Warren. And at that experience, he went out to the desert and captured some very incredible and impressive footage. In fact, he even captured an orb near a time anomaly area that Joshua P. Warren discovered quite some time ago that was featured in a scientific magazine. In wherever you're watching this video, I will provide you with the link to go and take that course. It's cheap, and for the wealth of information and the help that you would receive from Joshua P. Warren, one of the legends in the paranormal community, who's dedicated the last 20 years of his life to writing books and doing investigations on the subject of the paranormal and the strange. Joshua P. Warren has created these tones that Jason and I use when we're trying to, I guess, manifest UFOs, or when we're trying to dial them in. We try to create a UFO hotspot by using different alternative methods. Some of those methods include intention setting, as well as using crystals and gems to, I don't know, I guess increase our intentions being put out into the universe. These objects have been manifesting for Jason Sirachi for over 3 years, and he's caught things during the daytime, he's caught things during the nighttime, he's had Men in Black type people come to him and tell him to stop doing what he's doing. We've seen things filmed during the nighttime as well as the daytime, unexplainable things like this object right here you're witnessing. This object is not Starlink. This object is under the actual cloud cover. This object is slowly in an ascent into those clouds there. You can see a plane underneath it. You know, this is one of the most incredible captures I had the privilege of seeing last year. And the reason why is because this object had been seen all around the world, being filmed and captured and reported as Starlink. And Jason decided he would go out there and he would try and see if he can't help manifest this. His intentions were on seeing this object challenged by Joshua P. Warren. And what do you know? It actually manifested. And we can see it in its ascent. It looks like a tube or a cylinder. And all of a sudden, as it slowly starts to creep up towards those clouds, it turns into almost like a bunch of beaded things connected together, and then it disappears. It does not come out the other side of the clouds, making this one of the most fantastic mysteries that's been overlooked and underlooked by every single person out there, based on the fact that it disappears, y'all. That is very unexplainable stuff. It's the stuff that dreams are made of. This is a sighting that should be on the prefaces of disclosure and talking about when it comes down to UFOs and unexplained footage. If you know me, you know my name's John and I run UFOs Worldwide, and I've been doing this work now for myself for the past 20 years when I started utilizing my ability to play around with the footage using Final Cut Pro. I spent a lot of time messing around with it myself as far as blowing things up, slowing them down, and looking at things frame by frame. You know, I'm not certainly an expert, but I have spent a lot of time, like many people who are into this subject, watching a lot of videos. And I really wasn't happy with the quality of videos that I was receiving by the community that were bringing forth those videos, as those videos failed to tell the first person experience and didn't share any of the information surrounding the capture, the time, the date, or the location, nor do they even carry a source link, and oftentimes leave no information or no thoughts as to what they believe the object is, just asking you to discern it for yourself. Again, nobody really knows for sure what these things are because they're not communicating with us, but they are there and we are seeing them, and they are confirmed by our government, no less, by governments all around the world, by religious factions, that they do exist, they are out there, and no, we don't have an explanation for where they come from, who they are. So when I'm watching all these videos and countless hours of watching frame by frame and creating thumbnails and messing around with the exposure and adding different filters to videos and slowing them down and blowing them up and zooming them in, I'm doing so because I love it, and I think it's the right way for me to enjoy looking at these objects, and I'm absolutely fascinated by them. We have documented video from many different skywatchers all around the world of flashing objects that have no explanation. We have documented sightings of triangular shaped objects flying overhead. We are doing our best to try and investigate it from a grassroots standpoint, where we aren't all professionals, but we are interested in capturing these things, and we want to go ahead and show the rest of the world what we're seeing. In this circumstance here, we can see a plane flying by the orb. This is a golden orb that has been seen all over the place. It's almost as though it is just in tune with Jason Srirachi, because he constantly sees it. It's low, it's radiating light, and up until this point, it's getting so low that it's causing issues with the night vision camera that he's currently using. This kind of night vision camera setup involves the binoculars or the goggles, an adapter, and a cell phone, and it's been tweaked over many years to try and bring out the most distant stars available. I think Jason's done an absolute amazing job with his paratemporal goggles and binoculars, and our friend Mobius is the one that runs the company Paratemporal Night Vision. You can go to paratemporal.com and you can check out what's available from that website, and believe it or not, I'm the one that remade that whole website. I was very proud of it because I've never really done any kind of web editing before, and it was my first time, and I was able to really replicate what he did with the original site and kind of jazz it up for the, the 20th century, so to speak, of internet pages. Jason has no explanation of what these objects are, but Jason does use a satellite tracker to ensure that he's not capturing any kind of satellites. He also includes the date, the time, the location. He includes what he thinks it is or what he's observing as information. He's taken the time and spent money, his own money, thousands of dollars for this equipment in order to be able to capture and record it. He spends all his time watching the sky when he has free time, which he has a lot because this is his job. He is making it his mission to document and investigate these light anomalies, these crafts, these unknown things that are in our sky that are clearly visible and showing themselves to Jason. If you don't already subscribe to UFOs Worldwide, if you don't already subscribe to Jason Sirachi, then I highly recommend you go ahead and do so, because what you're going to find is you're going to find UFO videos of night vision captures of someone who's dedicated and taking courses to ensure his own validity's sake. This is something that Jason is going to do for the rest of his life, and I'm going to be on the sidelines covering these kind of things as well, and editing them and checking them out. Our friend Mobius has spent over 20 years being a debunker in the industry. In fact, he worked on a special show. The show that he worked on was for Warner Brothers and the Travel Channel, and he did so as a technical advisor and forensic analysis guy for the show called Fact or Faked as the UFO video expert. He's got so much experience, I can't even tell you the amount of times I've sent him videos that followers have sent me asking him to give his opinion of what it is, because I might be stumped. And lo and behold, Mobius every single time tells me without a shadow of a doubt what he knows it to be likely to be. And I trust Mobius. And, you know, I have seen and met a lot of people who are UFO experts. And, you know, everyone has their opinion in these certain circumstances. But I've always really appreciated Mobius for his honesty and his brutal, relentless search for the truth. In fact, Jason and Joshua P. Warren, as I mentioned before, I'm going to put a website link in there for you, but they've created a Skywatch thing that you can do. It's like an experience where you can go and join Jason Sirachi out in the middle of the desert with night vision goggles, where he's going to allow you to use the night vision goggles to see what he's seeing. And more than likely, I'm imagining a lot of people are going to end up seeing this golden orb UFO that Jason Sirachi has been filming for years. And when they do, I imagine they'll probably be pretty shocked. It is very much an incredible thing for some one person to capture all these things. But you know what? I think all it really comes down to is our ability to spend time watching these things, to being dedicating, going outside and actually looking up and seeing what we can see. There's a lot of things out there that you need to be able to recognize and to be able to discern, such as planes, helicopters, satellites. You've got a lot like different space debris. You have meteorites and asteroids. You know, one of the biggest things being reported out there are fire lanterns. People are fooled by lens flares, no less, thinking that lens flares are objects. You know, there's dust, pollen, bugs. All these things can result in what appears to look like a UFO. But we don't watch enough of the sky. We aren't filming enough of the sky. And in today's day and age, we are all on our cell phones looking down, aren't we? We aren't actually looking up at the sky too often. But I think it would be very important for us to all look up at the sky, because looking up at the sky and eventually seeing what we would consider as a UFO is a mind-altering, perspective-changing experience. I started UFOs Worldwide 3 years ago because I wanted to enhance UFO and paranormal videos like this and start showing it publicly rather than just continuing to do it just for myself. I really wanted to share with people that are like-minded like myself and who want to see things blown up, enlarged, frame by frame, with different exposures running, because we have all of this evidence being documented and it's happening daily. And it's just so important that we start studying this more to get a better idea of what's going on, or to try and make contact, or try, there should be experiments on trying to make contact. As I mentioned with Joshua P. Warren's tones, we broadcast the tones. This was inspired by CE5 protocols, but you broadcast the tones over a radio. Could be a handheld walkie-talkie. And what happens is the radio frequencies are being broadcast and they can be picked up by anyone that's listening. And we're hoping that that frequency, that sound, and that vibration is going to reach otherworldly things or interdimensional things, whatever they are, whatever these things are that we're seeing in the sky, trying to have them manifest, trying to set it up so that it continues to manifest and continues to develop some kind of relationship. As anyone's ever had a personal experience, you'll note that most of it is shy, but and they hide and they disappear and they hide in plain sight, so that you question yourself. There's no shortage of firsthand encounters. We've had disclosure by high-ranking members of the US government revealing various secret reverse engineering projects seemingly being backed by huge black budgets. As you very well know, we have military showing captures of strange unknown objects seemingly to be operated under intelligent control by unearthly forces. We have people who've been claiming or experiencing being abducted. We have people who've been implanted and the implant chips have actually been retained, where it's been discovered that they were created using nanotubes long before nanotubing was able to be done by ourselves. And they were discovered to actually be emitting a radio frequency, everybody. That's really crazy stuff. Along with who knows what else is actually taking place under anyone that's been abducted. We have cattle mutilations through thought to be the act of alien beings due to their precise cuts. We have a hacker, Gary McKinnon, who states they observed a document speaking about off-world officers. We have countless insiders coming forward sharing their secrets. We even have deathbed confessions of people who have kept their secrets until almost their complete, demise. When they're dying, they have to get it out. We have people who have stated that aliens live in underground bases on this planet, and we've actually gotten to battle with them. We have people who say that the moon is already inhabited, and when we went there, we were told not to come back. We have people out there who say that Mars has evidence of ancient ruins. We have people out there talking about pyramids in Antarctica, possible stargates, possible alien spaceships, and the Anunnaki bodies of the leaders. We also have world leaders converging upon Antarctica in secret. We have eyewitness first-hand experiencers seeing things, filming things, and reporting things that are unexplainable all around the globe. We've even been told, and it's been admitted by our government, that they've had experiences where not only do they shut down nuclear facilities, but they render them completely harmless. We have people out there telling us that these objects, beings, crafts, that they're a threat to us. While on the other hand, we also have a whole nother movement of people saying that they're peaceful. We've got cover-up upon cover-up. We have a process called the Freedom of Information Act in order to try and expose the cover-ups, where information once released is still blacked out and redacted. We have government branch upon government branch with classified evidence showing these things. We've been told that secret meetings have taken place with world leaders at certain times in our history where they talk about these things. We have people out there translating creation stories and talking about us being seeded by beings from other planets. We have people talking about stargates, warp points on our planet that can take you to all the other planets in the blink of an eye. And we even have people out there suggesting and proposing that these are our future selves. We have other people that are actually saying that these things are coming from other dimensions, and we have other people who think that these things are angels and demons. We have people out there who are very afraid of them, while we also have others out there that will go out there and sing praises and worship to the UFO gods. Almost as if you can picture the Independence movie scene where they're all waiting on the rooftop before they get blown away. That one thing comes to mind as far as imagery is concerned. We have people out there who claim to be the messengers and prophets from those coming from the stars above. And there's no shortage of people willing to sell us out about anything should we be gullible enough to buy it. The truth about UFOs is probably pretty simple when you get down right to it, and I propose that no one really knows anything, and that until they land here and have a face-to-face conversation, we really won't know a single thing. And that's just the way it's going to have to be. What I do know for certain is that we are now arming ourselves to ensure our safety amongst the stars publicly. Who knows how long this has actually been happening behind closed doors and prying eyes. What I do know for certain is that it's very likely that no matter where you're born on this planet, you face the same adversity you're likely to face should you be born elsewhere on any other planet in the entirety of the universe that can support life. Up until the last 100 years, like I said, most people would look at you like you were crazy if you suggested that there were aliens on the moon, or better yet, if you suggested that there was life on other planets. Much can be said for those who are interested in researching UFOs, ghosts, or Bigfoot, and up until the last few years, where some great television programs have pushed past those boundaries and provided incredible scientific approaches to studying this kind of phenomenon, we had no one else taking our first-hand encounters serious. And now it should be a public phenomenon with the internet and our ability to talk to one another in any language all around the world. It's an amazing thing. We have so much power in the internet itself. And the one scary thing is that if we have all that power, and the people that run the world and the people that govern the internet and allow what to be on the internet to be on the internet, if those people so choose to turn off the internet for those of us, if those people choose to remove our ability to have freedom of speech, whether it's one way or the other, polar opposites and completely downright nasty, we are doomed as a civilization and as a society, because we no longer are able to share our ideas. We are no longer able to come together as one conscious unit. We are kept separate and separated and alone and in a negative energy state. My buddy Jason has been showing me these captures for over 3 years now, and that's why I decided I would create this very long film and have a conversation with you about UFOs, about my thoughts on UFOs, and the fact that anyone, anywhere can go ahead and purchase paratemporal night vision goggles or binoculars, which are even cheaper. I own those ones, and go out and see these things themselves just by spending an hour looking up in the sky, in the night sky.